So that massive outburst in the courtroom happened right before the security guard took the stand to start testifying about the Intercontinental tape. Okay? Think about how wild that must have been.
We walked to my vehicle and he asked me how I was going to spend the money. I said I didn't know, and he said, "Don't make big purchases." I thought it meant he didn't want to draw attention.
That's 100% exactly what he meant. All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back. So we got to talk Diddy trial. Big updates in the trial. The hotel security guard who came upon the incident at the Intercontinental Hotel testified today. Diddy sat stoically for a while he listened to the hotel security testify to what he saw and then how much was paid for the tape and some other very interesting information about how Diddy treated him, what was said, what happened, NDAs, so on and so forth, etc. And then the big headline is that there was some massive outburst in the trial where they actually had to shut the trial down, remove people from the courtroom. So we're going to go through all of that right now. That's what we about to do. So buckle in and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Appreciate you guys very much. Let's dive into this fascinating update on the Diddy stuff. Now, if you missed it over the weekend, I wanted to update something about my takes here real quick. So over the weekend, Diddy's former assistant, who's been operating under the pseudonym Maya, or Mia, I don't know, it's spelled M-I-A. It's not a real name anyway, so who cares? So she had testified to the fact that she had worked for Diddy for however long. Some of this stuff that's really interesting to me, honestly, is about how much they were paid, how much they were forced to work. It's just interesting, like, honestly, listening to the testimony or reading about the testimony, it's like, all right, so like, what was it like working for this guy? You know what I mean? And they would be told when they got the job, they'd be working for 40 hours a week. And they were making around $50,000 a year, something like that. Which is, I mean, it's all relative, right? Like, they live in New York, but it's like, but you're kind of always staying with Diddy. But at the same time, dude, you have to have a house. You know what I mean? Like, you have to have a house. Living in New York on $50K a year. How on earth is someone supposed to do that? Like, live in like a rat-infested crack den? Or are you going to rent a closet from someone? Have you guys ever looked at what it costs to live in New York? It's outlandish. Okay? It's outlandish. $50K a year after taxes is nothing. I have no idea how anyone could live on that. And they were working like 100 hours a week, low side. They were constantly working. Okay? And they're like, yeah, but I wanted to work in the music business. It's capitalism at its finest. Everyone wants this job, so you don't need to pay as much. You know what I mean? It's like if you absolutely need someone to come into your house and climb through your pipes every day to get from one end to the other, and like if someone doesn't do it, your mom's gonna die, and it's like the worst job on earth, and no one will take the job. You're gonna have to pay someone a lot because you need it to keep your mom alive. And no one wants to do it, so you got to pay a mountain of cash to get someone to do it. Weirdest example ever. I thought of that on the fly. But if the job is like, hey, rip around the world with P. Diddy, you're his assistant, but you're going to get to rub elbows with all the coolest people. You're going to be making friends with Rihanna and Jay-Z and whatever. It's like, yeah, and you're going to be living in New York City, where it's incredibly expensive to live. You're going to be rubbing elbows with all these wealthy people, and you're going to be laughably broke. You're going to get paid $50,000 a year, which will all go on your rent and food. I would assume he keeps you relatively well fed, but that is not a lot of money, man. You know what I mean? So anyway, but let's get into this particular part of the story. And I'm sorry, Jesus, I got sidetracked. Okay, so what I was saying in my live stream that I covered about the Maya story was that, from what I heard, it was like her testimony was very challenging to listen to, right? It was like people were like, man, like she could barely speak. She could barely get words out. But apparently on cross-examination, Diddy's team was frantically trying to get the judge to allow them to show videos of what her normal inflections are like. And they're like, she is fake. This is like laughably fake. And there are other people who I now heard subsequent to me doing the live stream who are like, this was not coming off as believable at all. She's coming off like she was, like pretending, like she's up there like Amber Heard, up there like Amber Heard. And if you guys do not watch, as a matter of fact, I should have this queued up. But this right here is Nissy Social. Wait, hang on. Let me move this over. Nissy.social. Okay. NISSCEE.social is the name of the channel. Her channel is fire, dude. It is so good. You guys should absolutely go over there. You should check out this. And after we look at today's stuff, I want to go over here and show you some of it. All right. Now, let's take a look at this, though. We'll start here, and then we're going to go back to her video afterwards. And believe me, stay around for this. But and then also we're going to talk about the outburst in the courtroom. Okay. So, hotel security worker says Sean Combs paid $100,000 for the assault video of Cassie, which is obviously, interesting, but there are much more interesting things coming up. So, he paid $100,000 to obtain what he thought was the only copy of a 2016 video showing him beating his girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, in a hotel hallway. It probably was the only copy, right? I mean, it probably was. Because you want to know when it showed up? After the feds raided his property. It's just Diddy was too stupid to delete it. He absolutely should have deleted it. He didn't. That was really dumb. And it's biting him in his ass now. I mean, like, when I say, like, biting him in the ass, that is the understatement of the century, okay? It is, it's like a dragon that has slit itself, like, through his ass and is, like, coming out of his eyeballs now. Like, he's going to potentially end up doing life in prison because of that video. Because anything, like, they know everyone's telling the truth now when they say that he was whipping this chick's ass all the time and all these other girls. Anyway, okay, so hotel security worker testified on day 15. Okay, by the way, did you guys know that this video is going to be, or I'm sorry, that this trial is going to be 8 weeks? We haven't even started, dude. It's only day 15. It's going to be an 8-week trial. So the government says the video supports its case that Ventura was forced by Combs to have sex with male escorts as part of its freak-offs. Part of freak-offs held at various hotels. Defense has countered that Ventura was a consensual and willing participant in the sex parties, which she was. Okay. Now, again, that doesn't mean that she was every time, though. They only need to prove that one of the times she wasn't. But again, like, dude, I know way too much about this lifestyle. Not in my own life, but in, like, I know a lot, dude. Okay? I know a lot. I know way too much about this lifestyle to act like this is some kind of shocking behavior that no one would ever participate in. It's like, there are a lot of swingers, dude. There's a lot of voyeurs. It's very, very common, dude. Very common. Jesse, how do you know so much about it? I think that Gabrielle and I might be the most heavily approached couple in history that has not partaken in this, okay? Like, I can't tell you how many people you would not fucking believe, when you find out. Like, people just assume that, no, it's not that they assume that we are exactly. It's just they could tell we wouldn't care. Like they could shoot their shot, and it's not going to make us, like, not be friendly with them afterwards if it doesn't go the way they hope. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, and then Gabrielle and I always afterwards were like, damn, I would not have bet on them, dude. I would not have bet on them. And some people are super slick in how they do it, like we're talking like really totally normal people do this shit. Okay. And just to reiterate, Gabrielle and I have never done it, or Gabrielle would fucking never do it. I would never let anyone put a hand on her ever. Okay. But she also would absolutely never do it. Even if I wanted to, she would never do it. But again, I know so much about this, and it's like the idea that Cassie was not a willing participant in this when you're reading the text, can't wait to do another freak off. It's fucking ridiculous. I don't believe her, okay? She is a battered woman for sure. Diddy is an abusive boyfriend. He's a piece of shit who is committing crimes all over the place, I'm sure. But the sex trafficking thing, I'm not in. I will continue to say I'm not in on that. But again, I'm saying that in bulk. If there's even one time, once, and I'm not talking about, let me actually be very clear about what I'm saying. She said, like, sometimes I wouldn't want to do it. Like I wouldn't want to go to a sex club. And he would present it like, oh my God, it's going to be such a good time. And I'm like, all right, well, I do that with Gabrielle all the time about stuff. Like I do that kind of thing all the time with Gabrielle, not about like sleeping with other people, but if you're talking about like a normal behavior that you guys do all the time, and like the wife's like, I don't feel like doing it. You're like, oh my God, it's gonna be so fun. And when you read the text message, that's what it sounds like, between them most of the time. But if a single time, one time he drags her back into the room and he tells her, dude, he's all, I want you to stick that in her now. That's it, dude. You're done. That is like kidnapping crime. Like, it doesn't matter if she's your girl, okay? It doesn't matter if she's agreed to it 999 times. If the 1000th time you dragged her somewhere and you forced a dude to do it to her when she didn't want it, you're done, okay? So I'm not saying that, like, you know, that he's like fully innocent on this thing. I'm just saying as a behavior, I am not willing to exonerate her as a willing participant because I don't believe that that's what's happening here. Okay, or what was happening. All right, that's probably enough. I've talked about that plenty. So the bottom line is the security guard was paid, he paid $100,000 for the tape. Security guard forced to sign a non-disclosure agreement, and that's what it is. Okay, now I want to listen to this part, which is this is the outburst that came in the courtroom. Let's hear about this.
Absent from the courtroom as Sean Diddy Combs sat alongside his defense team during his sex trafficking trial in New York June 3rd, a supporter was removed by law enforcement after a shocking disruption in the main courtroom, according to NBC News reporters in the room. The woman, who has previously viewed the proceedings from the overflow room, according to the outlet, shouted, "Everyone is laughing at Diddy. It's not right what they're doing to him." She appeared to yell at Combs, "People are trying to do you wrong." After the woman exited the courtroom, the former security supervisor at the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles, Eddie Garcia, took the stand in connection with Combs' assault on ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura at the hotel in 2016. Garcia, who testified under an immunity order per NBC News, accused the Bad Boy Records founder of paying the hotel security with a brown paper bag of $100,000 in exchange for the footage of the attack, which was subsequently released by CNN last May. He said that after the incident, which Combs apologized for after the video was shared by the outlet, the rap mogul allegedly called him requesting the footage. He testified, "He kept repeating that I sounded like a good guy and he said I could help with the video footage. He said it would ruin his career. I apologized and told him I was only a security officer and didn't have access. I did not have the credentials to get to the server room where the original footage was." Garcia alleged that after telling his then boss that Combs had offered to pay for the footage, his employer went into the server room and handed him a USB drive. After Garcia allegedly dropped off the memory cards to the Diddy Dirty Money alum, he said he signed an NDA with a $1 million penalty. Afterward, Garcia said that Combs, who has pleaded not guilty to sex trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, as well as transportation to engage in prostitution, had given him $100,000 to split between himself and two other hotel employees. He testified, "We walked to my vehicle and he asked me how I was going to spend the money. I said I didn't know, and he said, 'Don't make big purchases.' I thought it meant he didn't want to draw attention."
That's 100% exactly what he meant. All right, so I want to move over to Nissy's video. To Nissy Social's channel, and I want to show you some of how she covered the Maya testimony, because she did such a good job. And I don't know what is going on with her channel, dude. I swear that YouTube has to be suppressing her. She does such good work, dude. Like, she does it's like we cover like similar stories sometimes, and I look, I'm like, she must have spent 2 days researching this, and then she filmed this video, edited it, all that together. It makes me feel guilty just taking information from her stuff and then just like saying it out loud. Like, she does, her videos are awesome. Okay, you should definitely go follow her channel, and let's listen to her coverage of some of the Maya testimony because it's very interesting. All right.
Having multiple stages, and in the final stage, she was brought by his head of human resources to his apartment, and when Diddy opened the door, he was standing there in his underwear. And then Mia went into Diddy's apartment to continue the interview, and eventually he did put on clothes. Mia says she was told her schedule would be 40 hours per week and that her pay would be $55,000 per year, but in actuality, her pay was $50,000 per year, and she worked way more than 40 hours each week.
And you know what's crazy about that is that when they got it, I mean, she might end up talking about this in a second, but like when she went to HR because she was owed $80,000 in overtime, Diddy took the document and just tore it up. He's all, "Nah, I don't." "Yeah, I actually don't owe you $80,000 in overtime." You're all, dude. He's a gem, man. You know, because he definitely couldn't afford it. He's like, he spends $80,000 on like lunch.
On her very first day of work, she worked for 24 hours straight. Mia testified that many times she was required to spend overnights at Diddy's house as a part of her role, and she wasn't allowed to leave.
Look at that house, bro. Okay, that's a house. That's not a hotel. That is a home that one person buys. That is so insane. Like, that's not, I don't even, that's insane.
Even if Diddy was sleeping, she was expected to stay in his house, and when she did leave, the security would go after her. Mia testified that working for Diddy was chaotic, and at times he was violent towards her. He had thrown things at her, such as a computer and a bowl of spaghetti. He threw her against a wall. He threw her into a pool. He slammed her arm into a door. And he essayed her on more than one occasion. Mia testified that on multiple occasions it was her responsibility to set up his hotel rooms with items such as baby oil, candles, condoms, Astroglide, lighting, and thousands of dollars in cash. She was...
Dude, can someone tell Diddy that Astroglide sucks, okay? Coconut oil, much better. Doesn't turn into glue after a while, okay? Astroglide literally turns into glue. Okay? He should know better. He's Mr. fucking freak off it like every other day.
Was also responsible for cleaning up the hotel room afterwards. She testified to having to clean up things like baby oil, candle wax, broken glass, and even on occasion blood. Diddy had told her that it was period blood. This man has no shame. Mia testified that in 2013, when Diddy started Revolt Films, she became the director of development for the company. This was a higher paying position that came with bonuses, although she often wasn't paid the bonuses she was promised.
Unbelievable, dude. God, can you imagine working for a person like that? Who's like, yeah, you know what, if you do this, you get a big bonus of blah, blah, blah. She's all, okay, cool, I did it. So am I going to get my bonus? He's all, what? Oh, yeah, you'll get your bonus. Because, you know, he would be like, yeah, sure. Oh, for sure, girl, you'll get your bonus. And then it would just never make the call on purpose. And then she'd come back another time and be like, oh, yeah. And then like the fourth time he asked to be like, get off my back, girl. God damn, find a reason to get mad at her, throw a fucking bowl of spaghetti at her. God, you want to know what one of my biggest pet peeves is in the world? Aside from people who bully women, actually people who bully people in general, but especially women, is people who do not pay money that they owe people. I cannot stand that, dude. I can't stand that. I swear to you, if you can find one person who says that I owed them money that I did not pay, I would be, there's only one. There's literally one person ever, and it was an employee of mine, and there were ridiculous mitigating circumstances that were completely not my fault that I ended up, he ended up learning about it afterwards, where it was like, bro, there was just like a company thing. Anybody who's had any personal interaction with me ever in history, you have one person who ever thought maybe I wasn't paying them money, and they subsequently found, that is my biggest pet peeve in the world. It is such a demonstration of bad character to not pay people money that you have guaranteed you will pay, agreed to pay, or that you just straight up fucking owe them.
Mia testified that on several occasions she was suspended without pay for making simple mistakes like preparing the wrong workout outfit for Diddy or for going somewhere without his permission. She testified that Diddy used her and other staff members to keep tabs on Cassie's movements 24/7, and he would get enraged if Cassie went places without his permission or didn't answer his calls. Mia testified that she often saw Diddy be violent towards Cassie, but Cassie never fought back. Mia also testified about the incident where both her and Deontay jumped on Diddy's back to try to help Cassie, and so this was important because it corroborated both Cassie and Deontay's story about what happened that day with Diddy. Mia also corroborated a story I mentioned in my week 2 video. She was with Cassie the night that Cassie snuck out to go to a private party at Prince's house. At the party, they bumped into Diddy, and they left the party immediately.
Hey, and guess what happened, guys? Okay, guess what happened? Correct. Diddy beat the shit out of her, as usual. Okay, I'm going to cut it off right here. I would like for you guys to go over to her channel and watch this entire video. I just showed you about 3 minutes of a 37-minute video that is absolutely top-notch fire. I watched it front to back yesterday. I don't know. Whatever YouTube's doing, they should not be doing. Go to her channel, follow her, comment, subscribe, all of that stuff. She deserves it. She does great work. Love you guys. Bye-bye.